I feel really bad about schools that cut, music and art programs. I know that, it's a financial thing or what have you, but if you can't feed the kids creativity, you're not teaching them how to think for themselves. Like, creativity is so important to a young mind. You kind of can't interrupt that process in an early stage of development for a kid. These are people that could one day cure cancer, or you know what I mean, cure sickle cell. Like, these are the people that you want to be future leaders and inventors. I feel like you can't cut an art form from their curriculum at such an early age. It's so necessary. And I'm happy that in New Orleans, there's a Beat Academy. They're doing a lot of stuff. Shout out to Matt Zorba, to really raise, future creatives. You know what I mean? They teach music theory to these kids, and they also do things where they will give them an Ableton Live session or something to teach them how to, craft a perfect song, or songwriting and whatnot. And I feel like that's important because kids need to know how to express themselves in a world where they're being force-fed a bunch of bullshit. My perspective on, conspiracies or agendas against the minority, I feel like that's definitely a real thing because it's a recurring process. You know what I mean? Life goes in cycles, and we see time and time again that these systematic, the abuse repeats itself. You know what I mean? And I don't think that that's something that will even change in my lifetime, because I see our generation now getting persecuted, the LA riots, that stuff when I wasn't even born, or when I was just born, it's reoccurring. You know what I mean? This is something that is bigger than just, I feel like, a conspiracy. I think that is something wrong with almost the human condition, because we always want to look out for ourselves, or people that look like us, or people that think like us, or people that have the same amount of money as us, that we don't realize how important it is to share in this human experience with one another, to be honest, because I could go on for days about technical things, or people that get shot by cops and police brutality, but it doesn't stop unless people stand up and realize that we're all in this together. And I mean this as the human experience. There is no black, white, all this stuff. We're all the same. We're the human race. You know what I mean? So it's just I feel like there may be a conspiracy out there, but I feel like that's not where all my focus is. Yeah, I do feel like it's more of an agenda to keep certain groups of people down. You know what I mean? That's always gonna happen when there's people in power, because there's people, when you have power, you have the power to abuse it. As long as there is something that divides us, there'll always be something to divide us. You know what I mean? The difference between me and you is the difference between me and you. And if I feel like you're different and I don't like you, I can do whatever I want if I'm in a position of power. It's sad, it's a sad truth, but we just have to stand up, and the awareness is great. I feel like now with social media, people's awareness is so heightened that it begins discussions, and these discussions are important to not just black kids, not just Latino kids, but the white kids, the people who are born into privilege, so that we can all talk about this and we can all work on solutions, you know what I mean? So that we can give our perspectives and we can actually do something about it, actually change it instead of just staying in the same bucket. I think that it's really important for young people to get out and vote. I don't try to obsess myself with politics too much, because, you know what I mean, there is still a veil there on certain levels, you know what I mean, especially a federal level, because we don't know everything that's going on. As much as we'd want to, and I think it's important for us to stay informed about decisions that impact us, say a bill or a law, you know what I mean, the Affordable Health Care Act, stuff like that. I feel like that's important to look into, and especially because I'm young, you know what I mean, and I'm still, shout out to my mom on the same healthcare. But I just feel like, you know what I mean, when it comes to politics, you got to stay informed, especially for your people. If you really want to look out for those who are around you, it's something that it's just a simple courtesy to look up a few things. I haven't really made a full decision for who I'm going for in this election. I'm Democrat. They're both good candidates, Hillary and Bernie, but I feel like they both bring two different things. Bernie brings this fire and energy because he's the dark horse, you know what I mean? That's, everybody's kind of rooting for him. And the internet's almost a perfect platform for him because of how vocal he is and how direct he is with issues that are concerning race and inequalities that are going on in America. It's perfect timing. And then you have, a seasoned politician in Hillary who has, she's the diplomat. She's respected, as well as, you know what I mean? Sometimes people don't like how vague she is, but I feel like it's good because we have either way, we have a candidate that will bring about change, I feel like. You know what I mean? You have someone who has power within the existing legal situation, like with Hillary, because like she has those relationships with, you know, other diplomats as well as like our House and all our Congress, like these people she's worked with. Same with Bernie, but I'm excited to see what happens, because Bernie's a good guy. He's a great guy.
Every time he passes the weed back, it's wet. Oh, the weed's wet every time. Like, no, matter of fact, not every time, because he tries not to. I feel like not to, so it's not every time. But then there's times. By
the time I was on the plane, they were asking me to leave. It just all started coming back to me the next day when Ivan was telling me how I was trying to talk to the pilot while I was on the plane. I was trying to convince the stewardess that I was totally fine.
And then when we go to the justice system for help, and we looking for them to change these laws and to give us some type of justice, it's not happening. So every time it's just another blow.
At the root of a lot of problems is a lack of love. There's a lack of God's love. There's a lack of brotherly love. There's a lack of respect. So take that message and package it up into this music, put it over this beat.